time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild
Welcome everyone to episode 221 of Born to be Wild, a wild and wild adjacent Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the wild adjacent and wild formats of Hearthstone and spotlighting members of the wild community. I am your host, ElectricSheepCity. It's great to be back on this beautiful Friday evening here in Kickin' Rad, Colorado. I'm joined by fellow hosts Hydralisk.
Yo!
And Schmoopydady.
Happy to be back contributing to the pod.
For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/BornToBeWildHS, and the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all podcast apps. However you are watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes, you.
Content plug, Schmoopydady. Before we get into the main topic of the show tonight, I'd like to say a quick thank you to the patrons of our show. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video on YouTube. Another simple way to support the show is to leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching live on Twitch, we've got some awesome emotes that you can unlock by subscribing to the channel. This is free if you use Amazon Prime. Finally, if you'd like to support the show financially, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 per month. We have some channels in the Discord that are unlocked by subscribing to the Patreon, where you can see the show coming together each week. Check it out. If you'd like to interact with us personally, please join our Discord, a free and amazing online community of friends from all around the world who love talking about Wild Hearthstone. Links to all of this stuff and more, including our merch, can be found at our website, which is www.borntobewildhs.com. Sheep, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. It was also kind of hectic, so a little bit of both of those things. So for one, those of you who are video enjoyers will have noticed that we have a new video overlay.
Hooray!
One of the things that Nate used to do on the regular, you know, on top of everything else, was that he would make a new overlay for the video for every single expansion. And I am not quite as graphically inclined. You know, I dabble, but I mean, you know, I'm no Nate. But I watched him do the last one that he did, the one for Showdown at the Badlands. And so I kind of knew generally, you know, what was going on and generally how, you know, the micro and macro of how to do the thing. And
it's a fun process to watch.
It was. It really was. And so I put that knowledge into effect this time. You know, the past few key arts didn't really lend themselves to overlays as well. And, you know, I was in grad school with the, you know, young child.
A little busy.
A little busy. You know, kiddo is a little older than he has been. I had been taking a little bit of a break from grad school. You know, that actually is finished this week as well. So spoilers for later in the week. So all to say, looking at this key art, it still didn't, you know, have the frame like the ones before, but it lent itself really well. It looks like super epic. It looks like a space opera, like poster, and it has like a thing at the bottom that kind of really works as a, you know, kind of base. It has a planet up at the top, and it just kind of works. So I was able to incorporate both of those and kind of move some stuff around and make it work really well for us here tonight. And I'm really proud of that thing. And we may be using this theme for a while. No, I'm just kidding.
At least a year.
At least a year. But grad school, I should be, assuming I pass all my classes. I've not got lower than an A- on anything. Should be done in June. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that'll free up a decent amount of time. Speaking of that school, it started back up this week. I had my first discussion post due last night. Was up way too late. Partially because after that, then I needed to unwind a little bit, and then was up for like an hour after that. And, then Balatro's on my phone, and, I've unlocked over 100 of the Jokers, and
Nice.
have like gotten at least one run on like a lot of them. Not the green deck yet, but I've gotten
That one takes away the interest, right?
yeah,
No
it
interest. with
takes
green,
away
yeah.
the interest, but you get 2 gold per hand that you have left over instead of 1. So if you are able to, I just started a run on that, before the show tonight. I'm still on it technically, but the good thing about that is I can pause it and put it away and pick it up later.
Does the phone let you do that? I was curious if that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, you could
It's
totally-
cloud save even. So like,
Cool.
I was playing at one point and messed up a turn, and what I did, I was like, I kind of need to restart my phone anyway. Like I closed the app immediately, restarted my phone, pulled it up, cloud save. It pulled it up to the beginning of the turn that I messed up. So I was able to actually fix it, but that's how close the cloud save was, because it's like mid game. Like I closed the app immediately, was able to do that, was able to like take back that turn, because I accidentally hit discard instead of play.
Instead of that
it
card?
feels so bad. Oh man, like you've got like a straight flush, and then you hit discard instead of play.
Well, here's the thing. It was my first, like, since my first
I've done
game
that.
or two, royal flush. So I was like, I just want to play it. Like,
There's an achievement for it, so you need to.
I got it like pretty early on, that achievement, but I wanted to play it too. So I've been playing some Balatro for sure. I've
There's
also
an achievement to discard a royal flush, by the way.
oh.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get that achievement because I undid that faux pas. But now, if I see it, I will do that thing. Because that's kind of where I am with the game at this point. Like, I'm not in I'm chasing like the big stuff. I've done I've won a game with a few of the different decks. I've gotten to this. I've beaten the second difficulty on the gold deck, just because I was really jiving with that play style. So I played the second difficulty and won that one too. But it's just kind of like the unlocking the different jokers, seeing what the different things are, seeing what the different achievements are. Like whenever you open up the home screen, the ace like goes away. You can tap on the like locked card, and it'll kind of like say, "Oh, here's one." And so like one of them was to like have a certain number of wild cards in your deck, and that's not something I would have done, but it's not something that's hard to do. So I just like
running
did it.
30 or 40.
Well, so wild card is in like the suit, not like, yeah, it's, I'm not going to go into further into the weeds of
got
the
you, Schmoopy.
Balatro. It's not a,
I don't get it.
yeah, I see what you mean. I don't know why I was slow on the uptake there. That's usually my joke. In fact, what? I also have been playing some Wild. Speaking of, been having a lot of fun with Pirate Demon Hunter. So, just playing me some pirates, smacking them in the face. Playing me some pirates, smacking them in the face. I got the card back. I don't usually comment on that, but
Hey!
Yeah, good.
Wow.
For those who did not listen last week, I had not yet gotten the card back last week.
And unfortunately, not out of a lack of
An attempt.
like trying, right? Like, yeah. It happens. It happens.
You just slow roll sometimes. And rather than tilt, I was putting the game away, which I still stand by. Like,
No, that's
100%.
great,
That's the healthy
honestly.
way to do it. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
But also, I since have been playing the game and not hitting low rolls and been doing all right. I haven't quite hit Legend yet in either format, but been climbing in both. The in-laws were here last weekend. We went to the pumpkin patch on Monday. So I took this past Monday off, and I'm taking this coming Monday off. So the pumpkin patch with the little dude was incredible. The grandparents are like, okay, like he has to pick the pumpkin, and like he just wants to run around in the pumpkin patch, and so
he care less about the pumpkin.
eventually they picked one out for him and got him to like do whatever it was that made them happy that he did. And then he was free to run, and he was really happy. And so like running around the pumpkin patch, he had a blast there as well. Had some overpriced food there. Like it was ridiculous. We didn't have much food, and it was, like a pre-order. It was absurd. Not a small one. Work has been busy, but good. One of those things that's like a happy thing. Yay. So all in all, those things put together, kiddo happy, busy, family happy, busy, work happy, busy, Hearthstone happy and busy. And I'm excited to talk about all of the busyness with my buds tonight. Speaking of Hydra, my bud, how was your week?
My week's pretty good. In fact, you were just talking about this wonderful overlay that you made, and something did cross my mind. We did stick with the other one for, 3 expansions or whatever it was. And if we do stick with this one for another 3 expansions, we are only following the example set out by Hearthstone with 1 board per year.
There we go.
Burn!
Shrek'd.
Anyways, so I finished reading Planet of the Apes from, I think it was like 1963, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. It made me want to go back and watch some movies and stuff to make some comparisons, because definitely not exactly the same as the original movie, but I mean pretty close. There's some things I was expecting to happen that didn't happen, done in different fashions and whatnot, but really enjoyed it. It was, I can see how they've made an empire like out of this thing, because there's a lot of time where they're just talking about how society works, the different types of apes that there are, and like what their roles in the government are, and all this stuff. Like they really get into that, which like could seem to someone sort of boring, but that's what they've used in all these other movies to show like how society really is and how it evolved and all that stuff, and it's all in there, right?
Oh,
so
cool.
it's like they wrote an instruction manual to make a saga in one book.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kinda cool.
So the movies are showing it and using their medium to do so. The books told it and used their medium to do so.
Because there's only one original book, one novel, which is the first original Planet of the Apes movie, and then there was novels that came from other authors later on for the other movies that happened, right? But there's just
The expanded
one original.
universe.
Yeah, and so they definitely have built upon it, and it's pretty cool because there is, like, no spoilers, but you know how the series that's going on now is it's kind of like a prequel to how everything got to the way it is. Well, there is this person in the book that they're getting sort of that information from of the past, and it's all built upon that, which is cool. And it's only like one chapter, right, of this person talking about the past, and they've now made all these movies out of it.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, so that officially got me to 30, right?
Nice.
So still not at 33. I started reading The Great Escape by Paul Brickhill. So if you don't remember that movie or book, this was written like a decade or a little bit more after World War II. And it's basically the trials and tribulations of some POWs from World War II that are in a German prison camp, basically, right? And it's them trying to figure out how they're going to escape and all of their failed attempts. And I mean, it's called The Great Escape, so they get out. Spoiler alert, right? Like that's why that's why it's called The Great Escape. Yeah. My favorite thing is at the beginning. Yeah, the movie was great, and reading the book's pretty interesting. The things, how resourceful they are, and how they make things, and like salvaging materials from things you didn't think that they would be able to salvage materials out. Like they made like mining carts that they put in their tunnels out of things that they're finding around their prison camp. Right?
Nutty.
Like it's nutty. It's super cool. So I'm enjoying reading that because it's written by a guy that was there for it when it happened. Right? It's like someone who was part of it.
Wow.
So yeah. So that's super cool. So I'm enjoying that. And so on the note of books, I've been having a silverfish issue. You guys know silverfish?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've talked about them before on the show. Correct me if I'm wrong. But these little guys, if you don't know what they are, they eat like your clothes and your books and stuff, right? They love the glue that's on like your hardcover books. They get like up in the spine and they eat on the glue, and they'll eat on the paper too if there's nothing else. But I pulled Under the Dome by Stephen King off my bookshelf the other day, and there was four of them on the book. I may have mentioned before, one time I was reading in bed. I laid in bed, I put my little lamp attachment on. I opened the book and I'm reading, I think it was Tommyknockers at the time, and I'm reading it, and then one of the silverfish like scurried across the page. It had climbed out and like down onto me, and I'm like, get out of the bed. Like they're harmless, right? Like you're not gonna bite me or anything, but
it's alarming, and it's creepy crawly.
They're creepy crawly, but also the biggest thing is don't eat my books. I have this hardcover collection of like 60 at this point hardcover Stephen King books.
Yeah.
Like you guys need to get out. So the bookshelf is in my room. There is a dehumidifier and they're running like at all times at this point, because I looked up online apparently that the silverfish eggs can't hatch below 50% humidity. So if you can keep it under 50, then their eggs won't hatch, and then the silverfish will eventually die off. Unfortunately, apparently, from what I've read, silverfish have like a 3-year lifespan.
Oh,
so
no.
you also have to set up traps and stuff. So you can prevent the eggs from hatching by keeping the humidity low, but they're still going to be around and eat stuff. So then
That's
I went
a long
like
time for
3 years. Yeah.
for bugs.
So I bought another one. I bought another dehumidifier. It's sitting like on the other side of my desk right now. I went a little crazy when I purchased this one. It's for a space of 4,500 square feet, which is a little much. My house is not 4,500 square feet by any means.
You're being
But this is gonna suck my house dry. That's the point.
You're all gonna get nosebleeds and dry skin, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, there's Vaseline all over the house, guys. Stay lubed.
New episode
that is not
title,
the name of the episode.
Stay lubed. Oh, come on! Come on!
Wiser words have never been spoken.
We gotta end it there. It's like, we can't. That's peak.
It's
Yeah.
peak Born to be Wild.
Anyways, I'm rambling a little bit too much. After the show, Mrs. Hydra and I were going to be baking some apple pies. We got all the ingredients. I made sure I picked up all the shells and stuff that we had after the show or before the show, and we're going to make them after the show. And that's the plan for that. Otherwise, yes, Balatro. I'm doing a thing now, Sheep, where I'm always selecting because I'm trying to use all the fill the collection, right? So I'm selecting the jokers I've never used before and seem useless.
Yeah.
And doing the tarot cards that also it's like destroy your hand. I'm like, oh sure, like just pick it.
Oh,
right? Like,
I love destroying my hand / deck. Like that's one of my go-to strats. Like, make it more consistent, please. I'm an aggro player. Make it consistent.
Though I hate it when it's like destroy 5 random cards in the hand that they give you, and it like gets rid of a bunch of the good stuff that you wanted.
Yeah.
But I'm just selecting that because I am trying to unlock everything. So I'm just picking them at this point. I did a run on yellow. I did a run on yellow the other day that somehow I made it to ante-6. I have no idea how. I was playing so horribly because I was just doing all of the bad things, but I still made it like 3/4 of the way through the round, which is strange. But that's a lot of fun. And then I was forcibly, I don't want to say this, but I was playing standard because I had to play a bunch of Warlock stuff. And I was like, what should I play? And I remember getting beat by all these stupid Insanity Warlocks at one point. So I was like, oh, I should try that. And I played it. And the first like game or two, I don't know. I don't know if I was playing it right. And then, things were coming around and I was playing and I was actually having a lot of fun. I had completed my quest and then I kept playing it. So, I don't know. Insanity Warlock's not too bad. It was...
Were you playing the Insanity Warlock, the one with the Insanity in it, or were you playing Painlock? Okay. So were you playing the like giants and stuff like that too? Excellent.
So it was pretty fun.
That is a fun deck. I'm glad that you were enjoying that. That is right up your alley.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a good time. Anyway, enough about my week. Schmoopydady, how was your week?
Sure. So our little Schmoopy update that I try to weave in every week. He's too good for math in his current class, so they want to push him up a level of from self-contained to inclusion just for one period just to do math. And so he actually happened to know. They were like trying to coax him out. He was during the middle of the week, he was just like, I've made up my mind. I'm not going to that classroom. And when I've made up my mind, I'm not going to change it. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, bud. But we know that if we do push too hard, he's pretty freaking stubborn, and he'll dig his heels in, and he really will just like hold out. So you have to trick him, because you can flank him. So little by little, the teachers know what they're doing. They let him peek into the classroom. He happened to like go over for playtime. They realized he actually knows a lot of kids in the class already from doing sports, from doing camp, from schooling last year, from pre-K. So like he kind of already knew some kids, so he was comfortable. Went over there today to actually do the math with the class after he said that he'd made up his mind, wasn't going to do anything. So good on Schmoopy, you earned it, buddy. Let's go Hearthstone now. I peaked at 2:49 one morning playing Reno Hunter. I took a Chinese Reno hunter list that I really like. I've posted it in our Discord if you want to see it, or you can check it on Twitter. Fun to play. What I like about it in this meta specifically is the secret package is particularly toxic to charge druids who have to play out of their skin to work around all the secrets and still win the Vidya game whilst I'm beating them in the face and putting up stuff like Clumsy Stewards, which are discarding their combo pieces, or I drop Zihi and set their mana back to 6. And you might say to me, Schmoopy, you're not going to get me to craft Mojo Master Zihi. There's no shot that's going to happen. The problem is Mojo Master Zihi is one of the better cards in the list, I find. The deck,
you don't have to convince me to craft Zihi.
yeah. I mean, listen, some people are unbaitable, but I'm serious here. It's a Reno list, but it tops off at 6. So once you Zihi, you can pretty much play everything in your deck, and odds are you have several things that you can play in your hand on the turn that you Zihi, right? Like, so you might like Patchwork Pals, have already played Patchwork Pals, play 2 of the Patchwork Pals, drop Zihi behind it. It's kind of like a Lotheb where it's sort of like cutting off their options on how they want to respond. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but we've got like Hope of Kel'Thuzad. So who says that those pieces aren't a little bit larger than they started as? It's really, really, really good for delaying Reno Lone Ranger. That's the main function I have found it to be. It's not really Druid tech. It's like you don't want your Reno pile opponents getting to 10 mana, because if they get to 10 mana, you get punished somehow. So there's a lot of decks that want to get to these higher mana counts, and to be completely honest, this is a slow meta. So because it's a slower meta, like, you get in there, Zihi feels good. There's some other cards I'd cut first before I cut him. We're not running Dino Tamer Brand, so like, if you want to find space for Dino Tamer Brand, go for it. That's all fine. So got my neon tweet there. That was cool.
I wonder if Even Lock may have a place in this meta, because that's why you don't have to convince me to, craft Zihi, because, Even Lock back in the day ran it to great success.
So the problem with Even Lock is it probably dies to Combo Priest pretty handily.
Yeah,
imagine
sure.
you just combo and you just make a bigger dude and then you hit them in the face, and they expire. Spell Damage Druid bursts it down. Lifesteal Demon Hunter bursts it down. Hostage Mage freezes their big dudes. I could see a lot of places where it's like it ain't gonna go well for the Even Lock. Though people have tried it and been like, like a couple metas ago, they were like, this is a sleeper deck in the meta. I tried it and it felt like dog water. So I don't know, but that's interesting. Zihi in Even Lock makes a lot of sense because a lot of your expensive cards are actually not expensive. It's an illusion. So that's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
I have yet to mess that button up because it's bright and says news. It was a pretty quiet week. This week,
Yeah, not much, eh?
Monday came and went. Played some Hearthstone. Tuesday came and went. Played some Hearthstone. Wednesday came. Maybe it was Tuesday. There was some Battlegrounds news. I haven't been playing Battlegrounds much lately. I'm sure I'll get back into it. These things wax and wane. So, nothing really for our format. We don't really cover Battlegrounds here. So then Thursday came. And my friends, we are going to be talking about Thursday for the rest of the episode. So the Great Dark Beyond has been announced. That is Hearthstone's next expansion coming.
Not Pandaria.
Not Pandaria. Though honestly, watching that, not
What a tease. That's so funny. Like, put everyone in robes in like a teaser. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, it's gonna be Pandas."
And there was like the spectral stuff at the very beginning. So it was like, okay, yeah, super duper space. Because there was a teaser, I guess, like a day before. Like I said, busy week here. And so in the teaser that Hydra was talking about, thank you. You know, there was this like celestial lighting on these people in robes. And then it's not celestial lighting anymore. And it's just people in robes. And the music doesn't sound spacey. The music, like... Dude, I totally understand why people thought Pandaria. Like, you know, I'm talking about this celestial lighting at first because, like, it was very starkly that, but it was very brief because the rest of it. I did not
listen to it
was
with sound.
Not, right? I didn't either.
I watched the video like in a bathroom stall at work, right? I'm like, wow. That's Trump and pizza.
Right? Dude, I was so happy to see pizza. Like, the big news, of course, comes with the 30.6 patch notes. Of course, start like most of these do, where they say, hey, you can buy it. Guess what? You can pre-purchase it. Neat. So it comes out, The Great Dark Beyond. I keep on wanting to just say The Great Beyond.
For copyright reasons, we have to add dark. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
we'll go GDP. GDP.
Yeah.
Yeah. GDP. Yeah. GDP. You know, of course. GDP. Like card players. We always shorten our stuff to like 3 letters.
Beyond is the one that's big. I think I may go just Beyond.
Sure. Beyond.
So we're not going to infinity and beyond. I'm just going Beyond. I'm just going with Beyond.
Let's be hipsters, cut off B and just call it Yond.
Ooh, what if we just call it duh?
Yond.
Not
Yonder.
D, but duh.
Yonder.
Yeah.
So Beyond has been announced. It launches November 5. The lore behind this particular one, the context that they give. Hydra, will you read this one for us?
The Draenei's planet was taken over by the Burning Legion. Should I do a Goliath voice? The Draenei's planet was taken over by the Burning Legion. Now, these exiled ones are on the run and in search of a new home. Join them in their journey and explore everything the cosmos has to offer. Build your own starships. The new Draenei, minion type, the returning spellburst keyword, an unstoppable demon army, and more! It's nearly time to venture into the great beyond.
What can you log in and get?
You can log in and get Nexus Prince Shafar. Nexus Prince Shafar is a 3-mana 3/3 minion with Spellburst. You know, that old mechanic. Give a minion in your hand +3/+3 and the Spellburst. So if you don't recall Spellburst, you play the minion's on board, nothing happens. You play a spell, the Spellburst effect happens. So whenever you play the spell, a minion, once Nexus Prince Shafar is on board, a minion in your hand will get +3/+3 in the Spellburst. You play that minion, you play a spell, and you can just chain it. Neat. I actually think that will be neat, and we will get a chance to talk about it more later. We also, in the patch notes, we won't dwell too much on this, limited time event for Standard. Renathal is returning to core. We've had him in Wild the whole time, but nice. Renathal will be leaving when Beyond comes out on November 5.
Who asked for this? This is
right?
Like, let's just take the whole format and just dip it in molasses and be like, all right,
people get bored.
Look it out.
You know?
Holy cow.
We'll get to it later in the shop bit, but the marketing team asked for this. They're selling a signature Renathal in the store, just like when Gin and Baku came back in for a while. They had signature versions of them then. I think and this is my tinfoil hat, I don't know anything about this, but I think that marketing wanted to, sell a product. So they did that thing. And balance, I'm hoping, is why instead of, Genenbaku was in for a while, Renathal only in for a month, less than a month. Maybe it was shortened.
I'm at D4 and 2 stars. I'm probably going to skip standard for the rest of the month. I'm not going to lie. There's a decent chance that I just pass up the format entirely. And I wonder how many people who normally would play standard are going to have exactly my mentality when it comes to standard. I know there's some people that love Renathal. He was one of the most popular cards in standard when he was in standard. Historically popular, right? Mm-hmm. Historically popular in Wild. Still, people love, their Reno, they call them the Reno slot piles, just mm-hmm. Reno and Renathal and a bunch of pet cards and a bunch of tech cards, and you just slap them all together and you say, yeah, this is tier 3. And it is right now, because aggro's so weak that something like that is tier 3. But, man, this is supposed to be, I guess, fun? Smile?
And in standard, Druid in particular, give me more cards.
Give me more room to be greedier.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's exactly what Druid wants and is doing. Guess what?
Fun. If you're the Druid player, fun.
So that's standard. We're in Wild though, so Renathal was free, I think, at first, and he's free now too. Neat. If you play one game of Hearthstone after the patch, you will get Avatar of Hearthstone for free. Avatar of Hearthstone is a 9-mana 5/5 with Battlecry. Open a standard pack. Play all cards from it.
And you need hand space for the cards to go into. So if you're playing this and you only have one card for your hand space, you only get one card. I saw Martian Boo play this today. So make sure you got your hand space and you play Druid. And this is the nuts. Smile, kind of, maybe. Think about what the average card.
Pool.
You probably get some creatures. It's not very good. It is fun, though. I won't.
Hearthstone is a game. And games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah,
so
it's a fun card. It's a fun card. For sure. Yeah.
All 1-mana minions. Woo! And then a fireball to the face. Of your own face.
Sometimes Yogg giveth, sometimes Yogg taketh away. You spin the wheel, sometimes you high roll, sometimes you low roll. That's just Hearthstone, man. And this is the Avatar of Hearthstone. So. There's also an in-game event coming up. Dark Moon Fair's Frightful Fantasy. So also kind of, I think, tying into the marketing. So they're tying into Dark Moon stuff. There's a portrait in the shop right now for Cthulhu that is Dark Moon Fair themed. Spooky season. Makes sense. Spooky season event, October 17 through November 5. Complete event quest tricks to earn XP on the special rewards track. Complete the rewards track to earn extra sweet treats. I mean, whoever wrote that part, I had some fun. So the rewards are 2 Perils in Paradise packs, 2 random epic cards, 1 golden avatar of Hearthstone. So that's how you get golden avatar of Hearthstone. Love that. 2 tavern tickets, which will be relevant later. Hold on to those. Unless you want to play the other stuff too, live your life. And finally, Daredevil Patch's Rogue Hero skin. So Patch's hero portrait to cap it all off.
Good value for an event. And if you're not super committed, really, the majority of the value is up front as far as cards go. So if you get to the arena tickets, great. I don't know if some people might not get to patches, but I like how this is structured, where it's not you're not missing out on the cards aspect, which is, if I was free to play, I'd be most concerned about.
Yeah, first it's the 2 card packs. High roll, low roll, you get 2 packs. Then it's 2 random epics. Awesome. Boom. Then, I mean, you want the arena tickets because of what's coming up, but you've already got the value. Love that.
And they've been smart about that. It's usually a cosmetic at the end. So, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So mixed in with this, they kind of buried some information about Hearthstone Brew and the gift cards. And I think this asterisk actually came up a little bit earlier. It was with the golden avatar of Hearthstone in this one with the golden reward from this. So here's kind of some information for our standard enjoyers out there. The current plan is that Hearthstone Brew and the gift cards that were added at the start of the year will rotate when the 2025 core set rotation, patch 32.0. But the Avatar of Hearthstone and some other freebie card grants coming this expansion cycle will rotate 1 year later with the 2026 core set rotation. We'll let you know if those plans end up changing. Now, I play me some standard, but I mostly play wild or twist whenever it's around too, right? I'm a wild and wild adjacent enjoyer primarily. I spent some coin to get me a shiny Hearthstone Brew. I'm gonna still enjoy him whenever I get the urge to play like a funky even deck, like an even lock with Zihi that I'm thinking about. I digress. But if I was a standard enjoyer primarily and had spent money on the shiny Hearthstone Brew and it wasn't sticking around for long, I'd be pretty grumpy about that, truthfully. Again, I'm primarily a wild enjoyer, so I'm not too grumpy myself, but
Full refund.
I mean, I don't think full refund, but it's just kind of with the price tag that was associated with it, a little feels bad that that in particular has a shorter shelf life.
Do you think that the gift cards and Hearthstone Brew are too strong in a 4-set format where it's like this card's already a year old? These cards are already a year old. They want the new cards to shine. 4-set format, like another year of those cards being like they're all strong options, right? Like in general, the Hunter one sucks, but some of the really good ones are really good. Like the Warrior one's really good. We make a lot of use of the Priest one in Wild. Like there's some really strong options. I wonder if they just balance wise are looking at it and being like, I don't know if we want these in a 4-set format again. Like you might just rip. Honestly, there were times I was playing Plague DK. I remember last spring when we first got these cards, and it was like right before. It was timed weird, right? It was like we got the reverts, and it was right before we were launching stuff, but we got Hearth early, I think, before, right? Didn't we get Hearth early? And I was playing him. Yeah. I remember because I was playing him in like a Plague DK to hit Legend and Standard. I think that might be the last time I hit. No, it wasn't the last time. Regardless, I hit Legend and Standard with Plague DK, and I remember like sometimes you just rip Hearth on 6 because like he gives you so many cards. If you think about it, like he's essentially drawing you resources, and the hand you get is always coherent and probably gives you value. And sometimes if you happen to roll one of the DKs, which I was playing, it was like, whoa, you have synergy too. Whoa, crazy. So I imagine he'd be like a little too strong to have just sort of sticking around doing things.
Well, and thematically, I think it makes sense for Hearthstone Brew to celebrate the 10th year only being around for the 10th year. That said, I think that should have been on the like initial point of sale whenever they were selling the shiny thing. Again, it would not have affected my purchase because I'm primarily a wild enjoyer.
It's a cool card, yeah.
And I play it in wild too. It's a good card. But I know that probably most of the people who are like funding a lot of the game, like are more kind of niche format, to be completely honest. So I feel like if they had put it at the point of sale, I wouldn't have any issue with it. But we've kind of dwelt on it for a while and can move on. But it's
there's more to go.
It's an issue. I don't like it, and I feel it's important to call it out.
If
We have done so.
When Genin Baku rotated, I'm pretty sure there was a refund for them and like the other cards, right?
Yeah.
Like Gloomstag and that stuff.
Yeah, there were.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
There were, but Hearthstone Brew was free unless you bought the cosmetic.
Yeah.
But
Which makes it more difficult, obviously. But just saying.
there were also some Battlegrounds updates that are in this patch. Neat. Again, if you want to focus on Battlegrounds, unfortunately, this is not the spot for that thing. Next up are some Arena updates. Schmoopy, what can you tell me about Arena?
Sure, this is going to be the last dual class season they're going to have for a bit. There's a new card pool. The new card pool is now Core, Ashes of Outland, Rise of Shadows, Dark Moon Fair, Murder at Castle Nathria, March of the Lich King, Path of Arthas. Good cards to look at. What's the demon? It's not the demon. The Death Knight card that's... something horror. It's like a 2/4 reborn, copies itself at the end of the turn with 4 corpses. This is a terror. This is a terror in Arena, especially if you can buff it with those blood rune cards. So very, very good card. You should be trying to draft that. You got a little bit of spooky mage stuff. You got a little bit of secret mage stuff. There is some secret spooky overlap there between Castle of Nathria for mage. That's what I've picked up on the early meta. Seems a lot slower, a lot lower power than previous metas, and we've got a lot to go through. So like that's my lightning round of stuff there. Bug fixes and in-game improvements, they were there. Check them out if you're interested. We got to keep going.
Yes, we do.
We're gonna build a starship. All right, so we've got a new keyword, starship. If you play a starship piece minion, when it dies, its stats and effects get added to your in-game progress starship. When you're ready, press the button and launch your starship directly onto the board for 5 mana. You can have as many pieces as you want, but when you push the button on the starship will be launched, and you'll need to build a new one. Some examples include Arcanite Defense Crystal. It's a neutral 4 mana 3/4 taunt minion with a death rattle, gain 6 armor. Starship piece. Starlight Reactor is a 3 mana 3/3 druid minion that reads, after you cast an arcane spell, recast it. Targets chosen randomly. And it has Starship piece, obviously. When you build your starship, what's kind of cool is it will keep the effects and abilities of the piece itself, and its stats will be equal to all your starship piece minions that you've added together. So we're sort of like building, banking mana, and then you get to launch the ship, and the ship does the thingy, and it's great. Any class can build a starship, but the 6 that will have dedicated starship cards in the Great Beyond will be Death Knight, Demon Hunter, Druid, Hunter, Rogue, and Warlock. Each of those classes has a unique name and art for their starship to represent their role in the Yond Bros.
So we have the Draenei is the new minion type, which is pretty cool. So exiled from their planet and haunted by the Burning Legion, the Draenei now travel the Great Dark Beyond, searching for their new home. You can help by welcoming them into your collection as Hearthstone's newest permanent minion type. The Draenei are known for their hope and community, so many of them affect the next Draenei you play. They are led by the powerful Valen, who exemplifies all his people. So there's a couple here. We've got the Ingenious Artificers, Mage Minion, which is a 5 mana 4/6 battle cry. The next Draenei you play refreshes mana crystals equal to its attack. That's pretty neat.
Ew.
And then we talked about, yeah, I know, right? Mana cheating mage.
Ew.
Rude. and then we've got Velen, which is a neutral 7 mana 7/7 minion. Velen, leader of the exiles. Taunt, death rattle. Trigger the battle cries and death rattles of all other Draenei you played this game. Sounds like it could be gross.
Yeah, it's kind of Shudderwalky.
But thankfully a death rattle. So
Yeah.
You know, it's neutral, so if Hunter gets access to some good ones, you know, over time, because it's the battle cries and the death rattles, if Shaman gets access to them, like, I'm not talking about competitive decks here, obviously.
Rogue has a 1 mana minion that'll make him die the minute you play him, right? So you can drop that. And pop goes the weasel, and away we go. Yeah, so Rogue's another place we can do it. What other places have good Death Rattle synergies? Those are the first two that come to mind. Death Rattle, Rogue.
They have
Hunter.
to be Draenei's.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
we're just thinking of different like tools that we have to proc the Death Rattle of Valen himself, because, you know, since he's neutral, we can play him in any of these classes. Exactly.
Yeah. I was going to add that somebody asked Hat on Twitter if they were going to be applying the Draenei tag to older minions, and that is, in fact, true. So there are going to be updated minions from the past that will be getting the Draenei tag. So I haven't looked through and seen which ones potentially could be Draenei with death rattles, but that's...
Or battle cries.
Or battle cries. Yeah. So I haven't looked through, but we can explore that in the future. It could be cool.
Mm-hmm. And now that it's an established minion type, if it continues to get support, then maybe that becomes a thing at some point.
We have a returning keyword.
We do. And that returning keyword is Spellburst. You know how I mentioned it before? Well, it's back. And here's an example in another Draenei. So Awakening Pilot is a 7 mana 4/3 Draenei. At the end of your turn, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. Spellburst. Summon an Arcwing Pilot. So this isn't a battle cry or death rattle to combo with Valen, but, you know, dealing 3 damage, 7 mana for 1 on board is not really worth. Is 8 mana for a spell that I want to do anyway, or 7 mana with like a 0 mana spell worth 2 of them? I don't think so, unless there's like some sort of mana cheat or something for, I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
It's the next Draenei you play, though. So you play the Ingenious Artificer, and then you play this, which is 2 mana different. But then you get 4 mana crystals back.
Oh, yeah, that's ingenious.
And then you can play stuff like Biscuit.
And then you're doing like druid calculations of mana. You know, like they're 7 mana, 1 mana draw 4. You have to have 7 mana first, but so yeah, that makes sense. They also are focusing a bit on some demons in this here expansion. So we've got the Foreboding Flame, which is a 2 mana 2/3 elemental. You're like, sheep, I thought you just said that they were focusing on demons this expansion. So Foreboding Flame has a battle cry. Demons that didn't start in your deck cost 1 less this game. Okay. We've also got Relentless Wrathguard, a 3 mana 4/2 demon with battle cry. Deal 2 damage to an enemy minion. If it dies, discover a demon. That demon doesn't go in your deck, though, so Foreboding Flame isn't discounting that. We've also got... Let me scroll. How would you pronounce this, Schmoopy?
Archimode?
I'm going to go Archimond. And hopefully Goliath is not too cross with us.
Call him Archie.
So Archie is a 7-mana 7/7 demon with Battle Cry. Summon every demon you played this game that did not start in your deck. So discovered demons do count towards Archie's Battle Cry there, which is good. No Draenei tag on these demons, but if Foreboding Flame was a Draenei, that would have been a good new tie-in. But visibly Elemental makes a lot more sense. So more demons. Does this dilute the wild pool? Help the wild pool for things like Kazaka's Potion or Mixologist Potion?
No, it's summon any demon that you played from your deck. So it's like, it's super specific. It kind of sucks. I think like you get a demon off of like Raise Dead, you're happy maybe sometimes.
I was honestly more thinking of the Relentless Wrath card. In that respect,
the Relentless Wrath card.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's an arena card. Yeah, it's an arena card.
So I mean, if you get it from a Mixologist Potion, you're kind of chilling with that.
Yeah, that's
not
fine.
Worried about it.
That's fine. I would draft that in arena. That's just like hey, take a card, print a card. Like that's going to be a good arena card. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an arena enjoyer.
The announcement goes on to say that Nexus Prince Shafar login reward is available now. We already covered that in the other thing. So, neat. Prepare for the pre-release Tavern Brawl. Okay, who among us is most excited for this Tavern Brawl?
I think we all. I would assume that we all are because I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's cool. I think I'm at like a 3 out of 5. I need to see where they land on the rewards because I can't commit to saying that like this is a good value for something to participate in, but I think the concept is awesome. I think it is much more interesting.
I'm going to hit pause on this real quick
Sure.
because I'm going to explain what it is before we go into a discussion.
Yeah, do it.
Because I think that is a good discussion to have, but let's contextualize it first. So, October 29th to the launch of The Great Dark Beyond on November 5th is when this Tavern Brawl is hitting. So we're exploring new frontiers in The Great Dark Beyond with the new pre-release Tavern Brawl. So, whenever they did away with the physical thing, I went to one but you know how you could like open your cards early and then you could just kind of like cheese it and do a virtual one, private one at your house.
Dude, I'm blanking
and then
on
they
what
did
it was
away
called,
with
too. Fireside Gathering. Yeah, it's just
that's the
replacing
one.
Fireside Gathering. Yeah.
So they did away with that a little while ago, and now it's a Tavern Brawl for everyone to enjoy, and not people who just like know how to navigate the website and do the thing, which is great, especially because it leads to more interaction, which is exciting. So for 1 week, I already told you the week, you can open your Great Dark Beyond packs, build decks, and play with the new cards in a mini competition until you hit 6 wins or 3 losses and win prizes based on how well you do, including more The Great Dark Beyond packs, cards, and packs. So, it's the week before. People who have pre-ordered one or both are going to have more of a collection. So this Tavern Brawl is a little pay to win in that respect. But once you get in, you could run just like a standard aggro deck and get you some wins depending on what the rewards are. Like you said, Schmoopy. if they're pretty decent and you can build a mini collection and like start growing from there, that could be pretty cool. It only goes up to 6. So that said, here's the price tag is what I'm about to say. And why I mentioned hanging on to tavern tickets earlier. So one entry free, will be free for all players. So you get a freebie. After that, entries will cost 2 tavern tickets. So they gave 2 for the event. That's forthcoming, relevant. So 2 tavern tickets, 300 gold, or 400 rune stones, which is $4 US. During this period, there will also be free The Great Dark Beyond community pack drops so that everyone will be able to play with the new cards. So you will be able to pick up at least like a few packs, even if it's not like a mega bundle style open. Note, and I have went in and bolded this. So this is forewarning. Everyone who is listening to this, standard packs will not contain cards from the Great Dark Beyond until the expansion officially launches on November 5. So don't think that you can like buy some standard packs and open those and take it into this mode. I do think that there should be some sort of way to get cards other than just the purchase option, but also I kind of get why they are trying to incentivize people to purchase, and I'm excited for the little like mini meta. Like for me, this is the kind of like a new expansion's come out. We can't just play all of the cards yet. Like it's a more limited format, but only in the new stuff, and you can grow your collection, and I think that part of it is really neat.
Feels almost like that, like, you know, you get to see all the streamers play with the new cards early. And now this is your opportunity to play with the new cards early. And I'm interested to see something worth noting. You can usually play Tavern Brawls against your buddies, right? I wonder if that's going to be locked in this case, where you're not going to be able to challenge people to the Tavern Brawl, or if it'll let you just sort of like play in that format with your friends. If I was to guess, I imagine it's locked, but I'd be curious to see.
Yeah, I haven't asked. That's a good question. I imagine it's locked as well. I believe that the previous ones with an entry fee in particular have been locked. So I bet that it will be, because, I mean, I think it would be fun to challenge your friend even if there aren't rewards involved. Be able to borrow your friend's deck.
Just be able to play the cards.
Cards.
Just like a sort of a sandboxy type situation where you can like get your hands on the cards without having to pay in. That being said, like getting a free run is really cool. I love the fact that we're getting a free run. I don't think the admission price makes me hesitant until I find out a little bit more about the rewards. That being said, this as an option for people to do a little gamba, do a little like, I'm pretty good. I can earn myself some extra packs. I can build my collection with my skill. I think that's only a good thing. I don't see this as being outright predatory in any way, which is one way that I'm sure part of the community is going to eventually try to spin it. I just think this is just sort of cool to start. But like, you know, with one eye on, we have to see the rewards. The rewards have to sort of match up too.
Yeah, for me on this one, I am in a special spot on this where it was. I've talked about it on the show before, but I've been collecting arena tickets for quite some time, and I noticed I was sitting at, I think it was a couple weeks ago, it was 28, I think I was sitting on. And so I burned about 10 of them, and then I've earned some since and stuff from the rewards track and whatever. And so I'm back up above 20. I think I'm at 22 And then there's going to be the 2 free ones, so that'll put me at 24. So that's 12 runs that I get to do
on top of your free run, so 13.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, so I will get those, and so I may as well abuse this as much as possible, especially if the rewards maybe are giving packs for like the expansion, if we're earning packs towards it, or like whatever they are, like, hey, let's play the new expansion early.
Yeah,
like it seems pretty cool at this point, just because of the amount. For me, I'm in a unique situation because I just sat on them and sat on them and sat on them, and always meant to use them, and then went on an arena kick recently and was having a blast. But I only used like a third of my stash. So here we go. Great opportunity. Aside from that, in all honesty, I think it's super cool. I get that the price may seem a little steep. I mean, it's not $10 like Heroic Tavern Brawl is, right? And I would imagine that the rewards are going to be pretty decent. So I think it's super cool. An awesome way for people to engage, get hype over the expansion. And you know what? It's great Twitch content, right? The people that don't want to be actually dropping their gold runestones.
Oh, that is true.
Tickets on this.
Yeah, they'll spend your money for you.
Prime. You know what? Schmoopydady, just stream this and people will donate and you'll get to play for free. No, honestly, it's great Twitch content. It's an amazing way to promote the upcoming expansion, because the thousands of viewers are going to get to see the new cards in action early. So great marketing move, in all honesty, and people get to have fun. So win-win.
Yeah, completely agreed. And, you know, depending on where the break-even point is on 300 gold, you know, they say here that it's only 6 wins or 3 losses. So the runway up isn't as high as, you know, a Brawlicium or an arena run. So I imagine that break-even point might be lower. It might be in the middle. I mean, who knows? We'll have to find out, right? So 300 gold. Play with the new cards, have fun. I mean, that's what I plan on doing. But I mean, this is trying to get people to buy the thing that I'm planning on, like I've already budgeted for. So of course I'm gonna like it because I'm already doing the thing that they're trying to encourage. Neat. They go on to give the information for pre-purchasing. So the Great Dark Beyond Mega Bundle, 80 USD, 8,000 runestones, includes 80 the Great Dark Beyond packs, 10 golden the Great Dark Beyond card packs, 1 random signature Beyond Legendary card, 1 random Beyond Legendary card, 6 tavern tickets and Prophet Valen card back, and Priest Hero skin. The Great Dark Beyond bundle, 50 USD, 5k runestones, includes 60 Beyond packs, 2 Beyond legendaries, and the Valen card back. So, pretty normal kind of distribution of those things. $80 for the big one. You get the skin. You get the more cosmetic stuff. $50 for the smaller one. You don't get the skin, but you get the card back. And you get 2 legendaries, but they're not the shiny ones. Cool. Schmoopydady, I'm going to turn it over to you for the next topic, which I have titled The Great Dark Beyond Leak of 2024.
Yeah. So the patch hit the client that, you know, did some of these minor changes and set some things up. And what also hit the client was, if you looked in the library, every card for the expansion, the whole expansion. You could look at the whole expansion. You could go through. You could type in missing, if you're like me, and you could see every single card that was in the expansion, and you could take a screenshot. Now my tinfoil hat theory for this is this happened because of the Tavern Brawl they're trying to bring to us. I think they needed to some extent make the cards hidden but available within the client. And so like this is a switch that was supposed to be on the off position, and instead it was on the on position. And so oopsie poopsie, we get to see them all early. I'll start just by asking Hydra, have you started perusing some of the leaked cards?
The answer, in all honesty, is yes. I have seen a couple, and by a couple, I honestly mean a couple. So they are floating around. If you want to see them, they exist. I saw a few on some Discord channels, but really, in all honesty, it's just been a couple. It's like, oh, that's neat. And then I started to think about it. I am someone who really enjoys reveal season. I enjoy content creators that get to put out videos. They put in hard work. It's an honor to be able to get these cards, to make your little video or whatever, talk about it on your podcast, whatever the case may be. Like, these people have earned their way to be able to do that. And so the wind is taken out of their sails on this if everybody's looking at it. And you know what? If you want to look at it, it's there. It's fine. It was Blizzard's fault. They put it there themselves. Like, this isn't someone data mined it and released it to everybody. This was an accidental mistake made by Team 5, and it's there.
Yeah.
But in respect for me, anybody can look at them. Respect for me, I don't feel comfortable discussing anything I've seen, which is extremely limited because, you know, everyone's at least a little curious. And I saw a screenshot of 2 or 3 at the most. And then I just stopped looking. But it's kind of neat. I like being surprised. I used to not even do the open your packs early thing. And this is so hypocritical because we do the Theory Craft streams. I used to refuse to watch them because I didn't want meta spoilers. Right? I wanted to like build my own deck and think of it on myself and do that kind of thing. And I didn't want to be a part of this pre-arranged meta because day one everybody's just playing what they saw on stream, right? Sure. So like I didn't want that sort of stuff. But yeah. I digress. Anyway, yeah, I'm not a super huge fan of promoting the leaked content in general, and I look forward to all of the hard work that everybody put into making their reveals, and we'll be checking all those videos out upon release.
Yeah. I'm in a kind of similar boat to you, Hydra. I have kind of seen a couple. I'm not actively looking at spoilers. I was able to see them too. Like, I typically go into the collection and type missing when a new patch hits because I want to see what the new portraits are to see what's coming up so that I can see what I used to be so that I could see what was hitting so I could just budget. Now see what I like to see what's coming up to see what I might get or might not, right? So, you know, I've seen a couple, but I'm not like actively engaging with spoilers. To me, honestly, it's the way that they release them. They release them and here's this package, here's that package. Like, the way that they've changed the release schedule is really good for, like, I mean, I was just talking earlier about my busy week, right? Like, I was doing this, that, and the other, school starting back up, blah, blah, blah. I'm busy, like, digest the whole expansion at once, or, oh, hey, here's this package. Oh, hey, here's that package. And, you know, yeah, some of the other cards might, you know, work, you know, more universally or, you know, cross package or whatnot. But the release schedule, especially this one, it's only 2 weeks. Like, it's fairly expedited, so that is that so that we can have the event. I don't know, maybe not. I digress. Anyway, expedited release schedule in general, releasing them in packages. If I run across a spoiler, I'm not gonna like shield my eyes.
This podcast is going to remain spoiler free, in case you guys couldn't tell. We're not going to reveal anything for you. However, I am looking at all the cards. I'm actually flipping through right now because what
a tease.
But here's my thing on this, and I think this is like where we landed because I wrote a little something on the Discord this morning. It's a big deal to some content creators to get their card reveal. Like it's their time to shine. It's their time to like, show off their content and their chops. And like no one's gonna look at their content if like or I shouldn't say that because I've told people, well, actually, Schmoopy, you actually when they do the card reveal, you get to see some of the mechanics at work. Okay, all right, that's fine. Thanks, Dweeb. But like you don't actually like you can just read the text too. Like I'm a read the text guy. Like I'll just wait for the clear and then I'll ask somebody, oh, how does this work? How does this end up like playing out if they play this card? Oh, that's what happened. Okay, great, cool. I watch zero reveal videos typically throughout the I'll be honest, like I don't watch reveal videos. I much prefer this. I get a big like giant bath of content that I get to like take a bath in and swim through. And I get to find little nuggets here or there. I get the entire picture. Sometimes when cards come out via class and they come out in these staggered orders, like the sets for different classes look so haphazard. And they'll like drive you nuts. Or it's just like, why would they print this card? This card sucks. Oh, because it's support for this piece over here that's revealed later as the payoff. It's...
That's why they start with neutrals. That is why they start with neutrals now, though. And to be fair, they didn't used to. They've learned.
That's fair. That's true. All the same, it's like, you look. I would prefer if they always just dump all the cards on us, just drop on the floor, and have to go through and I have to pick up the pieces. Because like I think it's cool that every day like I find a new little nugget, or it's just like, wait, is this busted in this? Wait, is this busted in this? And I don't know how anybody. I will say this. I'm not going to do spoilers. I don't know how anybody can look through all the cards and say, oh, another low-powered set. I saw somebody do that today, and I'm like, dude, whatever you have, I want some. This is going to be for every format, whether it's arena, whether it's wild, whether it's standard. This will leave an impact. We're already like...
Did that person say it like an hour after they were all leaked? Did they really?
No, they said it this morning. They typed it out this morning at 8:08 a.m. I don't know, man. This looks like a low-powered set, and like Corp responded with "lol." This is that we're gonna get. It would not shock me if we see 2 to 3 whacks and or bans to cards in Wild. Like this is going to have an impact on our format. We're going to see maybe new decks pop up. We're going to see maybe old decks get much better. We're going to see some decks that have been in hibernation wake up, and we can talk about some of that with some of the new cards that we are allowed to and we're choosing to speak about tonight. I don't, my thing about the leaks is like, again, kind of like Sheep wrote down on here on the show notes. It'd be one thing if somebody just sort of leaked it maliciously, and then we were going to be like, well, we're not going to give that person attention, right? But yeah, this was on Blizz, and again, I think tinfoil hat theory. The whole reason why it happened was because a switch was on the on when it should have been on the off for the Tavern Brawl. So they're trying to do a nice thing for us. And somebody does an oopsie poopsie, which is totally human and absolutely happens, and especially in this client, which is rather complicated. I get that, but like I'm going to look at the leaked content, and I think that's okay. But also, I'm personally, and again, I don't watch the reveal videos. I personally am going to go out of my way to watch the reveal videos this season. You throw one at me, you know what? Ping me with them on Twitter or ping Born to Be Wild. Be like, haha, make Schmoopy watch this. I promise I will watch as many of them as I can, because I think it's important that they are going to get fewer views. So the best I can do is I can look at the content early, but I can also sort of karmically, cancel it out by then also watching the reveal video. Oh man, I'm so surprised, because you're right. The nerds are right. You might see something that you get from the video that explains something or shows off a mechanic or explains, because there are some confusing things how things are written so far in this set with a couple cards. So it's nice to see the card get played out and whatnot. So there will be a benefit to watching the reveal videos. Watch the reveal videos, but also I don't think you can feel bad about looking at the leak content either.
I'm not sure which reveal video I'm looking forward to the most. I haven't looked through all of the who all has one yet. Whenever the raunchy ones have those are always great. And then of course Blister Guys, those are the two that I always like. Those are the two that I look forward to the most. But nothing against everyone else's reveals. I watch and appreciate those too. I don't watch every video, but I watch quite a few. Most of them.
You're allowed to have biases.
Those are the two that I like the most. That I look forward to the most, at least, on a consistent basis. Is there anything else we want to touch on in regards to the Great Dark Beyond leak of 2024?
Nope, it was real funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you for highlighting what I wrote there too, because both that this podcast, spoiler free, want to highlight that, and also whenever leaks in general happen, we don't tend to address them here because we don't want to give people attention. Blizzard did this, yeah.
Not saying that this is real, but if we're gonna, Shmoopy's normally the tinfoil hat guy, but I'll be tinfoil hat just for a second. Hearthstone has been around for over 10 years at this point in time, and they continue to put out expansion after expansion, all this content. How do they keep it interesting? Accidental leak?
No, I don't think they would do that.
What's gonna get people?
I don't think.
I said it's a tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Okay,
and there's some that I buy. I respect your tinfoil hat. I don't buy into this one personally, and we are giving it attention. So if they decide to just release them all again on accident, then cool. But at that point, that would be their decision. We're not actively encouraging people to leak is the big takeaway there.
Yeah.
I did see some...
Any publicity is good publicity.
I did see some pearl clutching too, where some people are hey, here's all the cards. Very publicly, which is okay. You can't... The information's out of the can. You can't put it back in the can. Right? Here's all the cards. And
they do exist.
And then some content creators were oh, well, enjoy your engagement right now. And then those same content creators are also later leaking the same information. So I don't know. There's a little bit of pearl clutch. There's a little bit of pearl clutching and hypocrisy, and it's all a little bit funny. Yeah, that's I think all we got to say about that. That just, if you enjoy reveal season, enjoy reveal season. If you're like me and don't necessarily, and I want to know what creeping horror is clawing up to me to make Wild a new hell for me personally, just look at all the cards and then watch the reveal videos.
Well, there were a lot of things in the shop these days. There's a lot of stuff that came out. So of course the ones that we knew were going to come up, we already touched on them. The pre-purchase stuff, duh. Signature Prince Renathal bundle. So
Hey, you want to play that shiny card for a month?
Ooh. He's pretty. I'm not gonna get him, but he's pretty.
I did pick this one up because I play a decent number of Renathal decks.
I don't blame you.
It's
He's
pretty.
beautiful. Yeah.
It's pretty.
I think I may come back to this one when Schmoopy returns because Bolvar 4-Dragon, the Diamond Death Knight skin has come out, and it looks cool. He expressed some interest in that one. So we'll double back there. But something I'm really interested in is, are you interested in whaling out on a budget? Well, wait until
On
the
a
card
budget?
is about to rotate, and then for 5,000 gold, you can pick up signature cards there. So Signature Sif and Signature Raden are both available in the shop for 5,000 gold apiece. You can also get a random Signature Titans Legendary for 5,000 gold as well. So 5,000 gold is about $50. So that's why I was like, cheap. But
If you have it lying around,
you know, if you're not spending the real monies on it. So
No, oh man, yeah. At least it's there for gold. Like that's cool. I will say that.
yeah, or 35 US dollars. So 5,000 gold.
I can
Or
earn
35
$35 US
USD.
dollars way faster than I can earn 5,000 gold.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. So we touched briefly on the Bolvar 4-Dragon Diamond
yeah, it's really
DK
cool.
skin, but I wanted to double back because I know you were excited about this. Tell me about what you think about it, Schmoopy.
I think it's beautiful. He looks like when he attacks and swings with his weapon, he should really like cock back and give like a baseball swing, but it's like a little tap. He moves forward and he just gives a little tappy tap with his hammer, a little poke, as it were. Which is a little underwhelming, but the skin is sick. I was watching Martian play with it today, and I was just like, all right, yeah, I gotta get this. I did not plan on buying it, but I did. It does come with the 2 golden standard packs, which is like kind of pog, right? Like that's a little bit worse for me as far as like, all right, I don't have a full standard collection in gold, so when I open those come expansion time, I'm not guaranteed to get new expansion cards in gold, but all the same, like, pretty cool. He just looks so cool, even if his poke is a little delicate. I think it's one of the better diamond portraits, and a very cool option. They have like a bunch of, like, the shop is on fire right now. There's a lot of cool stuff. The shop is on fire, which is why, at the very least for right now, I'm passing on Bolvar. I know. I think I'm also passing on all of these. So, Warlord Draka bundle for 1,500 runestones or 15 US dollars. That comes with a card back and 5 warrior packs. And of course, the Warlord Draka skin, which looks pretty cool. I am not going to play it over Rag or any of my other go-tos, but it's a good portrait. But some people don't splash on those portraits, and so this is options for people who want like a cool, like that. I agree. Like, I agree with you, right? Like, it's tough for me to move warrior off of Rag unless I have a very specific reason. But this is a pretty good one. Like, if I didn't have Rag, this is a solid option.
And for people who are newer to the game or just now wanting to spend monies on it, these are good options. But again, since I have spent and am a good chunk, I'm not, if this isn't going to hit my rotation, then I'm not going to pick it up. So not picking this one up. Carnival Cthulhu bundle. So this one is 1,000 runestones or $10 US. You get the Carnival Cthulhu and 5 Druid packs. Carnival Cthulhu looks pretty cool. But again, I have the fancy Cthulhu, and I love the fancy Cthulhu.
If you're just a druid lover and you're looking for druid packs, why not? Right? Like if that's the class you play. There was someone that we had on the podcast a long time ago. I can't remember that they dusted every single thing except for druid cards. 'Cause that's all that they played. Everything. They dusted everything except for neutral, obviously, and druid cards. So if you're listening, this one's for you.
Okay, we have to make the joke though that like, oh man, druid players, they love their new portraits. Play Guff on 5. Like there's like you're always overriding your portrait with Guff if you're playing anything remotely slow and wild. So it's always very funny.
I love winning with the overridden Cthulhu with Guff with all of the tendrils still out. Oh, classic.
And if you have a golden version and you don't have a gold hero, well, there you go. Automatic gold hero. Except for the hero power, obviously.
Fire Dancer Kayleen bundle. So this is a Demon Hunter portrait. So for you get the portrait and 5 Demon Hunter packs for $10 or 1,000 rune stones. Solid portrait there too, but I mean, I have my go-to demon hunters as well. And then finally Prince Charming Anduin, and I have no clue because this is one of those that's returning, so you can get it with gold, but I don't know the price point on it.
Yeah, it was part of a fairy tale bundle. So this was bundled with 3 other skins. So if I already have it too. His threatening is like,
I'm pretty sure like Shokunin like bought it for us or something.
Yeah, probably.
Because I think Shokunin gifted it. That's how I got it. I'm pretty sure.
No, I was not yet on the pod. I don't think whenever this one came out. I don't think. Maybe I was.
I won a contest for writing a song. Do you guys remember this? I wrote a contest writing a song called Anduin's Mambo Number 5 or something like that. Attempting to have this Anduin woo many different lady cards that were available at the time. It's written down someplace. Maybe I'll sing it.
Those were
day.
fun to review. I was on the podcast at that point because I remember that.
For that one. Yeah. Somebody did we've never sang it, but I don't know who submitted the Welcome to the Jungle. There is a Welcome to the Jungle somebody did.
Nice.
And oh my gosh. I tried to record it, but I am no Axl Rose.
No.
It's just...
I'll do that in the shower, but like in front of anybody? Nah, man. I know it doesn't sound good when I do it. And finally in the shop, Diamond Shutterwalk bundle. This is where the rest of my budget for this shop went. This was, so it's, you get the Diamond Shutterwalk and 5 wild packs, which I don't know why I haven't opened those yet, for $30 or 3,000 rune stones, because that is a US-centric dollar there, and it's probably a much different price for my buddy Hydra.
Yeah, it's probably like $34.99 if it's $29.99 for you.
Mm-hmm. Schmoopy, looked like you wanted to say something.
Oh yeah, I picked this up. Martian has been waiting for this card forever. Martian hates the art. He doesn't like the angle that the neck is at. I love the goofy angle. I love the snicker and the snacking and the wobbling of his head and his wobbly bobbly. And Martian's like, doesn't this look bad? I'm like, no, I love it. I think it's great. I like it more than I thought I would like it. I saw it in the client. I'm like, oh yeah, this goofy fella is going to be mine. And for a decent price, like it's $30, which I think is along the more reasonable lines I think we've seen for the diamond cards. Like, haven't we seen some of them go for like almost 45 or 50 USD at some point? Is that a fever dream? Am I imagining that? At least
There
$35.
were some more expensive recently, but they came with signature cards.
Right, like ETC or something like that. Like some of them were like because I did not get diamond ETC. I'm like, no shot am I getting diamond ETC. I remember it being like 50.99 or something like that. I'm like, sorry, buddy, I'm not splashing.
Whenever they're packaged with signature cards, if you were a signature collector, then I mean, it's a pretty good deal for that. Like, if you just don't waste your money on like gold packs, like this is my strat at least. Don't waste your money on gold packs. Don't waste your gold on gold packs. Just get the signature bundles whenever they come out, like, and you will not waste your resources if you like the stuff that is with them, obviously.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer it's good. It is good that you can just straight up buy the card that you want at this point, but it's a bit of a bummer because how many packs, like someone could go crazy buying as many packs as possible to unlock. You could spend like $1,000 trying to get all the signatures from a set, I swear, right? Like just opening packs and then they pop up for like 25, 35, $40 a pop, like sort of thing. Thank you for giving them to us. But yeah, it could be quite the hole you could get into trying to collect them all. So.
100%. Not for the faint of heart. Just be lucky. It's easy. Just be lucky.
Smile.
Don't be. I tell my chat, don't stop trying to get better. Just be lucky. It's all that matters. It doesn't matter how good you become. Just get better.
And that is why you craft Leroy and gold.
Excuse me. That's why you get lucky, get Leroy from the signature thing earlier, and have a signature Leroy.
Are we?
I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. You always draw Leroy when it's gold. I don't know.
Are we ready to talk about two of the meta relevant new cards that we have seen?
We are. So the two cards, just to introduce them before we dive into the brief discussion thereof. First is the aforementioned Nexus Prince Shafar. That is the 3-mana 3/3 with Spell Burst. Give a minion in your hand +3/+3 and the Spell Burst. And the Ceaseless Expanse, which is a 100 mana 15/15. Costs 1 less for each time a card was drawn, played, or destroyed. Battlecry, destroy all other minions. And now I'm going to channel my Among Us and say, discuss!
Spell burst that repeats is cool. I mean, if we're going to go from left to right. I think, well, like hand buffing at the same time. I don't know where anyone's going to break this, but I mean, right now, Big Spell Mage plays a lot of coin generating cards. You could have hands full of coins, right? And if you're generating that, it doesn't have to be in that deck, but something where you're generating coins or 0 mana spells in general, you could just keep firing this off and then buffing whatever you got in your hand. So if you want to run this in some sort of hand buff deck, like it could just go off at a certain point. So get that Leroy in hand and coin. Suddenly you have a 30 attack Leroy Jenkins, and then off you go. There's potential here for sure. I don't think this card's broken, but I think there's different ways that you can manipulate this. Any thoughts from Yushi?
I'm interested in it. I don't really know what I want to do with it necessarily. Like nothing kind of like, no part of my brain is tickled in I want to make this deck. I mean, I think it's a strong effect, and I'm not going to be surprised if something pops up, but, you know, a home doesn't immediately present itself to me.
So, so far where I've seen this pop up, Copper Scum has been playing a very kind of like low to the ground, facey hunter type-ish deck that's built around lock and load of all things. And the only beast that it's running is Whoppertinger. So it's running like a Whoppertinger Scavenger's Ingenuity package. And so what you can do is if you attach the spell burst onto a Whoppertinger, when you play the Whoppertinger, well, now you have 2 spell bursts. And then if you activate the Whoppertinger spell bursts, those spell bursts can go on to another Whoppertinger, can go on to a Patchwork Pal, could go on to Kolkar Pack Runner, like one of the other minions that you have hanging out in the deck. And then like everything you drop down is like just this massive threat. And so it's chaining threat after threat. And with the Whoppertingers, again, with the spell burst being doubled, it gets a little out of hand pretty quickly. And it's very funny when both spell bursts land on the same minion, because that minion does have the double spell burst. So it will trigger twice. So it doesn't like overwrite and then it's gone. No. It's still there. So like in theory, you could just keep like, you know, ramping it up. I've seen a couple other people do a similar thing in Hunter, but try to aim the spell bursts onto a Stone Tusk Boar, so that then they could take the.
That is what I was gonna say.
Take the buffs and go straight to the face.
Yeah.
Funny. Copy Stone Tusk Boars. Now multiple boars have multiple spell bursts,
That's
and
where it's
you're
at.
just sort of chaining it together for not a whole lot of mana. Because, like, again, playing this for 3 mana and then playing a cheap spell, it could be a 3 mana combo. If you attach it to a 1 mana minion, like it could be like a 1 mana combo. And the stats do get kind of out of hand with this thing, especially if you slap her on a Whoppertinger and you get the double spell bursts. So like, I'm not going to say this is a meta card. I've been calling this sort of meta curious. Like it's been like sort of like on the brink, perfectly playable. And if it's a good indication of, of the set to come, even the kind of the cards that like you look at and you kind of like, that's just okay. They're probably going to overperform what you expect. This is not going to be a low-powered set. I'd be shocked if this was a low-powered set. We'll do it in the same order. Hydra, what do you think about the Ceaseless Expanse? What were you going to say? Sorry, Cheat. What were you going to? Yeah.
But before we move on, hearing what you're saying, my aggro druid.
Oh yeah.
Brain is kind of being tickled there because I already run a lot of cheap spells. Already want to just like buff stuff up. I'll sniff at that and stumble on my climb. That'll be fun. Okay, now the Ceaseless Expanse. Hydra, take it away.
All right, so if you don't remember or didn't hear the Ceaseless Expanse is a 100 mana 15/15 that reads costs 1 less for each time a card was drawn, played, or destroyed. Battlecry, destroy all other minions.
Druid plays this on too. For by the way, Druid tempos this out on too.
Tempo.
Like this can happen. It honestly can happen quite fast, right? 100 mana seems a little silly for a card, but it's not just one condition. It's drawing cards. You can
playing cards.
Cards can cycle so fast. Playing cards. So you play cards that draw cards, right? So you're getting double ticks at that point, right?
Rogue tempos this on too.
Used to.
Like it's kind of crazy. I think we are going to see highlight reels of people like weekly. We can do a weekly challenge. You know how we have had the segment in the past. How about we'll bring it back for this card. Who can drop this on the earliest turn? Right? Like I think I think that's a solid choice for the weekly challenge. We get a screenshot on who can drop it on the earliest turn. And then there's also the obvious thing that people want to look and see, because we all love, Shrivala. Mm-hmm. And so that's something that people want to be able to do. So I think that there's definitely potential here. I think it could be gross, or it may just be too slow and be a meme.
Yeah.
That's basically, my thoughts. It could end up being a wah, 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 and be kind of flat, and it's a 15-15 that ends up just being, I don't know, naturalized or something, and we go from there.
Yeah.
Who's next? Cheap?
To me, Shrivala Paladin is exactly where my mind went. With Renathal being reverted, you got to do some more chip damage. Like you got to get some other work in to get, Shrivala to do the thing like you needed to. With the Ceaseless Expanse, that's not a problem anymore. Maybe you run Finley if you're, having to rely on the Ceaseless Expanse and can't, get the job done with Molten Giants on a consistent basis, like if it's slower. But other than that, like Hydra said, it's getting discounted a lot cheaper, We're not tempoing it out on 2, but can be played probably fairly early, and then just clear the board, and boom, you've got a 15-15. Easy peasy. That just gets cheaper with every single action you take, and you want to be taking actions.
Miracle Rogue.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. That exactly why I said that Rogue you could tempo it out on 2. Perfect example. Yeah. So there are a number of places that I can see the Expanse fitting. Whether it ends up staying there or not, of course, will remain to be seen. But it's definitely one that I'm excited to see working its way into the decks. And if the Ceaseless Expanse performs like Shafar has, then it'll overperform and probably stick around in those decks and maybe, expand ceaselessly. So, what do you think, Schmoopydady?
I think this immediately makes Holy Wrath Paladin one of the top decks in the format. Its big issue right now is not efficiency in the combo, especially since it's got new tools. Like, we can play Sea Shill. We can play the coin weapon that Rogue has. We can play Holy Cowboy. We have ways of banking mana before the combo turn while still running the full suite of Paladin control tools, which, let's be honest, like Prismatic Beam is busted. City Tax, Equality, Consecration. So you can kind of like hold aggro at bay and then pop somebody for 100. I don't know too many decks that can take getting popped in the face with 101 shot, especially since you can run neutrals. You could cheat enough mana that you could run Tight-Lipped Witness, pop him in the face for 100. Nice ice block, nerd. A Salad Alibi would be a combo for this. Odin Warrior, if they're running Replicatinator, which I think is bait and is not good and is not relevant in 99% of your matchups, that might have to be just standard in every Odin Warrior list, and you just pop off with that, and that gets you out of Holy Wrath range. Sometimes, if you don't do the combo right, then it wouldn't. So, you need to gain 300 armor in order to stay out of the combo range, or 101, I guess. But you get the point. No, I like the Renathal decks are holding down Holy Wrath. This removes Renathal. This looks very good. Another place where this is funny, and we could see this, is we could have Dead Man's Hand come back. I have seen some people muse that if the 3 cards that you are cycling or 4 cards that you are cycling are like a Cold Light Oracle, Lava Gorger. If you remember Lava Gorger, that is a 4 mana 3/5 taunt. It is a beast and an elemental. You are going to dredge, and when you dredge, you will gain armor equal to the mana cost of the card that you dredge. So you dredge your Ceaseless Expanse, right? And you gain 100 armor, and then you Dead Man's Hand it back into your deck. And at some point, you can just start playing it for free because you've been drawing forever, and you've been playing it forever, and it's a 15/15 that blows up everything. All of the minions, including your minions, which is great because you need the board space, and you get to go to the dome for 15. So, like, I could see I'm going to lose to this. This is my own personal hell later in life. I am going to lose to Ceaseless Expanse, DMH, and the Final Union is going to send me a copy of it too once he learns the combo. So nobody tell him, please, do not ping Union, because Union will start cooking that crap. But it's like, yeah, this is a card. This is an example of something that's gonna have sheep. Don't you dare! This is an example of.
I'm just gonna ping him and say, there's something in this episode that you want to listen to, and leave it
Union.
at that.
Oh, Union, don't you dare! I'll ban you. All right. So but in any case, like this, this is
Future
an
sheep,
example.
remember this.
Yeah, future sheep, remember. Oh, great. No, this is going to have an impact on the wild meta, and this is like an example of like these are just 2 cards that so far like we have like definitive ideas for. These are not even the most broken cards in the set. I've seen a couple cards that, again, without spoilers, I've seen a couple cards that are going to like probably get some cards banned, or even like just become staples that like you run this in every type of deck for a specific class, and not necessarily even the class that you'd expect. So, like, get excited, get a little hype, and watch the reveal videos, because, like, they're going to be cool.
Yeah.
Excitement abounds.
Unrelated Advice with Electric Sheep City.
It me.
Hi, Sheep.
Hello.
Sheep, the expansion theme is space, this expansion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for confirming. I wasn't sure. So it's space, which means that when we do the stream to play the new cards, they're going to send us to space, right?
Ooh.
So if they send us to space, I've never been to space. I know it looks like I'm in space, right? But this is just a star projector. It's not actually space. I'm not actually in space. I'm sorry, I've been lying to you, chat.
Oh, thank goodness.
I'm sorry, I've been lying to you. Yeah, you've probably been freaking out. Like, how's he talking without an air bubble, right? So, Sheep, what are
I
some?
moved to Colorado to get to the higher elevation so
you
that I
get
can get closer to
space.
space.
Right. So how?
But I'm not actually in space.
How should I prepare myself if we're going to play Hearthstone in space?
Okay, so for one, move to a higher elevation to get closer to space.
Okay.
I mean, fundamentally, you'll get used to a little bit lower oxygen. So you'll be consuming less oxygen later whenever you're in space and having to consume fewer resources. So you're preparing your body physically for the adjustment to make it easier. You will also want to is this preparing in what manner of your being are you needing preparation to play Hearthstone in space? Do you need recommendations on like power bricks or
Sure. Yeah, all of it.
Because you always want to have a charged phone. Like it's a very important thing to carry around.
Bring a charged phone. Okay.
Yeah, charged phone, a power brick, extra cables, very important.
Ones I don't need.
Because I mean,
I'm gonna need to tie stuff down because we're gonna be in space.
No. Cables to charge your phone or the power brick.
Got you.
Because you need you're playing Hearthstone on your phone. Because unfortunately, while the technology exists to get us into space, The technology does not exist to play paper Hearthstone in space or otherwise.
Wiser words have never been spoken, and you heard that on
Born to be wild.
Wait, there's no paper in space?
Solar panel. Solar panel. You need solar panels.